They thought they ended you. They thought the moment they whispered your name in dark rooms, the moment they closed the door behind your back, the moment they cut you out of the picture you helped paint, that you would collapse. They expected silence. They expected defeat. They expected to watch you sink beneath the weight they placed on your chest. But what they didn't know, what they could have never imagined, is that betrayal doesn't destroy you. Betrayal builds you, and betrayal made you untouchable. They threw you into hell thinking the flames would swallow you whole, but the fire didn't consume you. It forged you. It shaped your bones into iron. It carved your heart into stone. It taught your spirit how to walk through darkness without trembling. They thought you were done. They thought you were finished. They thought their betrayal was a death sentence, but they never realized that some people are born in storms, and you are one of them. You were supposed to break. You were supposed to kneel. You were supposed to become smaller, quieter, weaker, exactly how they wanted you. They thought a little rejection would erase your confidence. They thought a little gossip would poison your name. They thought pushing you away would make you crawl back, begging for validation that they were never capable of giving. Because that's how they operate. They survive off fear. They breathe control. They need people beneath them to feel tall. So they underestimated you, because they believed you were like them. But reality had a different plan, didn't it? You didn't break. You didn't kneel. You didn't shrink. You adapted. You rose. You sharpened. Betrayal didn't weaken you. It woke up the part of you that had been asleep for years. The part of you that was always meant to lead, to conquer, to evolve past the hands that tried to hold you back. They expected your downfall. What they got was your rebirth. At first, the pain was loud, sharp, unbearable. Betrayal cuts deeper than knives because it comes from the people you trusted enough to hand the blade to. It whispers in your ear that you were foolish, naive, too soft for this world. But here's the twist. They didn't understand that the moment you were left alone with your pain, you were left alone with your truth. And truth is a dangerous weapon in the hands of someone who's been broken open. Because when everything falls apart, you finally see what was holding you together. You saw your strength. You saw your resilience. You saw your value, not through their eyes, but through your own. You learned to walk through nights so dark you forgot the sun existed. But you still moved. You still stood. You still fought. Every whisper against you became fuel. Every insult became momentum. Every door slammed in your face became a reminder that you don't need their space. You'll build your own. You became your own light in the dark, your own shield in the war, your own savior in the chaos. And slowly, quietly, relentlessly, the pain turned into power. The heartbreak turned into hunger. The suffering turned into strength. The betrayal turned into becoming. And you rose, not suddenly, not dramatically, but steadily, like the sun after a night that promised it would never end. Then something unexpected happened. They noticed. They watched you from a distance, expecting to see your ruin. But instead, they saw your rise, and confusion spread across their faces like frost at dawn. How were you still standing? How were you still breathing? How were you still fighting when they swore you'd fall? Did they really think you'd stay broken? Did they forget what you've survived before them? Did they forget the storms you walked through long before they ever entered your life? Did they forget that you were built from a different kind of fire, one that doesn't burn out? Every step you took forward was a slap to their ego. Every improvement you made was a wound to their pride. Every victory you claimed was a reminder that they never held the power they thought they did. Because here's the truth. People who betray you do it because they believe you depend on them. Your independence is their nightmare. Your strength is their enemy. Your growth is their punishment. And as you rose, they panicked. They whispered harder. They watched closer. They questioned themselves in ways they never questioned you. Their fear was never of losing you. Their fear was of you realizing you never needed them. Your rise wasn't quiet anymore. It became thunder. It became wildfire. It became the kind of story people whisper about in disbelief. And with every storm you overcame, you became a storm yourself. Not the destructive kind, the transformational kind. You became the rain that washes away the past. You became the wind that carries the broken pieces away. You became the lightning that reminds the world you are powerful, undeniable, unforgettable. And slowly, step by step, breath by breath, you transformed into someone they can never touch again. Not because you're unreachable, not because you're hiding, not because you're guarded, but because you are elevated. Your peace is no longer negotiable. Your energy is no longer accessible. Your heart is no longer a playground for people who confuse loyalty with convenience. Your silence started speaking louder than your words ever did. Your absence echoed louder than your presence once did. Your growth became the kind of revenge that doesn't need anger, only progress. They tried to bury you, but you learned you were a seed. They tried to cage you, but you realized you were born with wings. They tried to break you, but every crack became an entrance for light. You didn't just change, you ascended. You didn't just heal, you evolved. You didn't just come back, you returned with a crown made from every shard they left in your back. Yes, betrayal hurt you, but it also purified you. It burned away your illusions. It exposed their intentions. It forced you to confront your potential, and it taught you the most powerful lesson of all. You don't need to fight them to win. You win by becoming someone they can never stand beside again. Look at you now, untouchable, unshakable, unbothered. The person they tried to break no longer exists. You outgrew that version of yourself like a snake shedding its old skin. You walked out of the ashes wearing a new identity, one they didn't build, one they can't access, one they will never influence again. And now they watch you from a distance, eyes wide, hearts heavy, regret dripping from their thoughts like poison. They can't reach you. They can't hurt you. They can't manipulate you, confuse you, or drag you back into the shadows where they once controlled you. Not because you're hiding, not because you're running, but because you're operating at a level where their presence doesn't exist. Your mind is stronger, your heart is wiser, your soul is quieter, steadier, more powerful than ever before. You learned the art of moving without announcing, the art of succeeding without validating, the art of glowing without seeking applause. You became a force, not loud, not angry, not vengeful, just undeniably powerful. That's what real transformation looks like. Not rage, not revenge, but rebirth. Betrayal didn't make you bitter. It made you bulletproof. It made you legendary. It made you untouchable. And now you move with a different rhythm. You walk like someone who knows their worth. You speak like someone who understands their power. You breathe like someone who survived their own destruction and still found a way to rise. You no longer chase. You no longer beg. You no longer explain yourself to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. You simply exist in your truth, radiant, whole, unstoppable. Let them talk. Let them watch. Let them wonder how you did it. Because the answer is simple. Betrayal didn't break you. It built you. It shaped you. It crowned you. And now you are untouchable. Not because you're hardened, but because you're healed. Not because you're alone, but because you've met yourself. Not because they lost you, but because you finally found you. Walk forward. Carry your scars like armor. Carry your lessons like weapons. Carry your peace like a kingdom. Because this is your era, your rise, your reign, your redemption. Remember this. They tried to break you, but betrayal made you untouchable. They thought your story ended the moment they walked away. They thought your silence meant surrender. They thought the darkness around you meant you were lost. But what they didn't understand is that silence is where warriors sharpen their swords. Darkness is where legends learn to see without light. Isolation is where leaders meet their true selves. You weren't disappearing, you were transforming. And now, your second rise is louder than your first fall. There comes a moment in every great story where the hero stops looking back. That moment has come for you because something changed inside you, quietly, subtly, powerfully. You stopped asking, why did they do this to me? And you started saying, thank you for showing me who you truly are. You stopped saying, I lost them. You started realizing, I found myself. And that shift, that single shift, is the moment your entire destiny turned, because betrayal didn't just make you untouchable, it made you awake. Awake to their patterns, awake to your strength, awake to the life waiting for you beyond people who were never capable of walking beside you. You see, your story was never meant to stay small, but small people tried to shrink you. People with small minds, people with small hearts, people with small visions. They saw your potential and felt threatened. They saw your power and felt insecure. They saw your light and felt overshadowed. So they tried to dim you, control you, silence you. But the irony, the moment they stepped away, your light grew brighter. They didn't dim you. They freed you. They didn't break you. They released the version of you that was waiting to be unleashed. They didn't bury you. They planted you in soil you never would have chosen for yourself, but soil that grew you into something they can never touch again. And now you walk differently. Your steps are heavier, not because you're tired, but because every step is rooted in purpose. You speak differently. Your voice carries a calm power, the kind that doesn't need to shout to be heard. You think differently. No more begging, no more chasing, no more trying to fit into places that never had room for your greatness. Your spirit is no longer negotiable. Your energy is no longer for sale. Your heart is no longer open to people who only know how to take. This is a new era, your era. Do you know why betrayal creates unstoppable people? Because betrayal teaches you the truth. You can lose everything and still find a way to rise. Once you learn that, nothing scares you anymore. Nothing controls you anymore. Nothing breaks you anymore. Not abandonment, not rejection, not loneliness, not judgment, not doubt. Because you survived the one thing you thought would destroy you. You survived them. And when you survive betrayal, you become someone the world can't intimidate, someone the world can't manipulate, someone the world can't shake. And now they see it. They see the way you shine without them. They see the way you move without hesitation. They see the way your life is unfolding without their presence. And deep inside, they feel it. They didn't walk away from you. They walked away from their only chance at witnessing your greatness up close. They left the table, right before the feast. And now they watch from the sidelines, wondering how the person they tried to destroy became the person they can never reach again. That is their punishment. That is their karma. That is their nightmare. Not your success, but their irrelevance to it. And you?